Which one?
Fruit smoothie, Blackberry Milkshake.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I was telling Eric that we've been walking you through hops. So he's had West Coast hops, or short it. He's had West Coast hops, and he's done the New England, East Coast hop thing now. So before he even tries it, like, what is the hop expectation on this?
It's not much, man.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest with you, the hops are really played down on this one, and just hit more fruit and vanilla, more so than anything in this beer.
So when you do a milkshake IPA, because I mean honestly, like, I haven't brewed milkshake IPA. I never have. And to be honest with you, I think the first milkshake IPA I ever had. Put this up here so that our camera guy can give us a little beer pouring shot.
Man.
You had the first milkshake IPA I ever had, I think, was one of yours.
Yeah.
At one of the local comps you did before you went pro. Because you had those. I've been hearing about them on podcasts and stuff, the milkshake IPA thing, and I hadn't yet to have one. And it was super awesome. So does it maintain in an IPA style because it starts off as a base IPA recipe, or?
I think it would maintain the New England style, pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bitter. Like, this beer's kind of sweet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the hoppiness is on the back end to me.
Okay.
Am I right?
I would say that. So this one's got mosaic hops in it, but not overly crazy. Like this, I think the IBUs are 30. So it's not crazy, but then the lactose really cuts in, and there's a lot of vanilla there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Eric, let's talk about some beers, man. First of all, thanks for coming out. Eric Johnson from Brutal Beerworks in North Richland Hills. How long? 6 months now?
3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, 3.5.
It seems like a lot longer because
feels
just talking
like
about this brewery coming along for 3 years now through homebrew competitions that we know each other from.
Yeah.
Killing it at those for a while, so.
Did pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
Had a good time, man. It was
a
lot of fun.
Blue Bonnet. 2 Blue Bonnets? 1 Blue Bonnet?
Just 1 year first place and 1 year second place.
Yeah,
so.
it
just styles.
Just first
weren't
and
for like
second
the whole
and
thing.
the biggest damn homebrew competition in the world besides one other. Second biggest, I guess. Cool. Well, right on, man. Well, you guys have, first of all, the coolest thing about your brewery, I've told everybody here, this whole thing with craft now that everybody's into with creative brewing is really cool, and obviously that's the fun thing that keeps it all going and keeps it. But you guys specifically set up your brewery on a very small scale for the intent purpose of going for it.
Yeah, just cranking out random beers as much as we can. So 1 to 2 beer releases a week. We throw out whatever the hell we want, and we typically don't decide until the day of what we're brewing. So
seriously?
Yeah, we don't.
It's that random?
It is. It's very random.
That's
it's whatever
awesome.
we want to brew, we can do it.
Well, it's funny because I think the last one I saw you throw an Insta post on was the Fruity Pebbles. That it looked like you were throwing a pallet into a freaking stock pot.
It was about 30 of those big, like, grape value boxes in the mash.
How many gallons are we going for on that?
This was a 3-barrel batch, so 90-something gallons.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's cool because homebrewers have known a lot about cereal beers for a long time, and I know breweries do them, but a lot of them don't seem to go full bore on it just because, there's a lot of risk factor and money lost, but that's the fun part, right?
No.
You guys don't have to worry about that as much.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We just go for it. Like, straight
awesome.
up. If we want to brew it, we brew it.
So is the 8% on this? How much of that comes from Grainville, and how much is that as adjunct? Like you said, it's a lot of blueberries. So how much, or blackberry? How much?
All of it's Grainville.
Yeah.
We did the blackberries after fermentation was complete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right on. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Let it condition on.
Fermentation, and then you added the blackberries.
Chilled it down, crashed
for
it.
The flavor.
Yep. Added blackberries, added the
nice.
vanilla, let it sit and meld for a little bit.
That's cool. So this is not a package and take home and sit on the counter.
No. This is you get it that night. You pretty much need to drink that sucker. Yeah.
That's been a thing going
Okay,
on.
explain that to
I
me.
will. Yeah. So there's been a thing, especially now in craft beers, where people are putting a bunch of adjuncts. We talked about that before, added
yes.
fruits and stuff.
Yes.
So oftentimes, especially in homebrew style, like these guys are serving straight from their bright tanks, so that you can keep it cold. If you keep it cold, the yeast go to sleep.
Yep.
They don't die, they go to sleep. And if the yeast are asleep, they can't convert sugars to alcohol, right? So there's some of these beers so you put it in after, like he's talking about, and some of these breweries have put stuff in packaging in cans or bottles, and they added post and didn't put anything in it to keep those yeast gone. are down. They just, I'm sure, tried to filter it to some extent. Anyway, they wake up, and 3 months later, this is on a shelf, and
Got bombs.
bottles are blowing up, and cans are exploding.
Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of recalls in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
On that, so.
No, I mean,
It's a thing.
all of ours are drink fresh, man. And that's the motto behind the brewery. Always new, always fresh, exciting. Just keep rolling them out.
Oh, dude,
Just
that's my
swing by
first
and pick up
one.
one of those, take it home, have it that evening. And
Crowler will last up to 2 weeks. I mean, carbonation's a little bit different with crowlers than typical packaged beer. So they'll end up getting squishy after a while.
Nice. You got
Today-
really kick-ass crowler labels, by the way, which is, that's you guys by chance have went further on your crowler labels than any brewery out there. It seems so far, those things are intense.
Thank you. Yeah, we had an artist. He was in DFW. He just moved to Colorado, but his name's Falk Hoban. Definitely want to give that guy props. He's
Nice.
amazing. But yeah, he did the octopus for us. We loved it and just rolled with it. But the beers we have now today are Blackberry Milkshake IPA. We have Zenith, which is our Kölsch, and then we have the Upside Down, which is pineapple sour.
Nice, very cool. Okay, that's fun. So, all right, I'm interested in the Milkshake IPA thing for a real reason. So, Brian, my cousin that does this with me, this part of the fun of doing this show is that, you know, he likes beer like everybody else. He's not home brewers or brewers like we were, but this whole IPA thing and this whole like bitterness thing, he's working his way on the show. So I think you've already consumed more hops doing this show than ever combined, right? Yeah. So he's definitely getting the walk-in treatment through the IPA thing. So the milkshake thing, I'm pretty excited for because it definitely similar to the New England styles and the hazies in the sense that they're a sweeter variety of the IPA. But
I'd say so. And then adding a bunch of lactose to it as well. Definitely creamy, and I like to take the carbonation down a couple notches on the milkshakes. Just helps that dense fill your whole palate
Creaminess
full.
of it.
Yeah.
So is that the so you're the first one to bring a milkshake IPA, and I mean you're by far, in my knowledge, in this area anyway. Like even before you went pro, you'd have 3 of these things at a comp. It was crazy. Is that kind of where the milkshake parts in on an IPA? Is the lactose involvement or?
Lactose, lower hops, definitely hop forward in a dry hop sense, but not bitterness. Kind of where you're going with the New England style. Right. I'd kind of hit New England style right there with the bitterness, same vein as that, but bunch of fruit, bunch of vanilla, bunch of lactose, just a dense, creamy mouthfeel beer.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're pretty commonly throwing, I mean, full fruit in this, not just fruitiness from different hop.
Oh, it's kind of a mixture of both. So we'll dry hop some of the milkshakes. Some we won't. Some will just fruit it like crazy. That one was fruited with every bit of blackberry we had.
Nice.
Like it was. There's a lot of blackberry in that beer. Yeah.
Is it messy brew day?
Yeah, it got everywhere. It was rough.
That's awesome.
But,
that's crazy. Do you at least do you mash them? Do you freeze them? Do you just throw them in their hole or?
No, we go straight from Oregon Fruit Products.
Okay.
And they have their actual the blackberry puree, whatever fruit
stuff.
puree. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, very cool. Yeah, no, this comes down exactly as you described, Eric, and I do like. This leads to kind of a cool point of brewing and recipe and things. So I know you crash this, put it to sleep, and then you put it in so that you keep that blackberry in there. Have you fermented blackberries? Does it change a lot?
I've done it on the homebrew level.
Okay.
And depending on how you do it, you can get a lot of fusel alcohols whenever you do it. Adding it whenever it's warm, I'd say, warm temp.
Yeah.
You know what fusel alcohol is?
It didn't sound good.
I have no freaking sounds badass.
It does.
You ever get a big bourbon barrel aged stout and you like, yep, I can taste the alcohol? It's kind of the same type of thing right there.
Oh, yeah, we warmed up Temptress the other day and got a lot of that.
Drank it hot.
Yeah. No, it'll kind of do the same thing. I don't like to ferment fruit unless if it's like a sour.
Okay, yeah, right on.
So it's kind of a totally different thing.
I know, with different fruits do different things. Like that pineapple habanero I do, man, if that thing gets fermented,
Pico
pineapple
Pina?
tastes like shit when it's fermented. Yeah, pico pina. Yeah, I got to put sorbate in that thing to put the yeast out because if I don't, man, that stuff will. We'll talk to Kerry about that because he called me on the first time I ever met him at comp. He's like, that shit's not going to work. And sure enough, it didn't. He knew. But yeah, but fermented pineapple is terrible. And I think it's there's just several fruits that if you let them ferment, you're done because it just doesn't taste good.
Well, this is definitely the first of this kind of IPA.
The milkshake IPA thing? Down?
See, you get the body.
I drink this every day, all day.
You get the body. You get the sweetness. It's
But the hoppiness,
it's still there. It's still got a little bit of bitter to it.
But
Yeah.
it's not nowhere.
So
No.
near,
plays on
you know,
different levels.
Yeah, it's a totally different level of IPA.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's great.
Well, it's cool too because I'll tell you what, it's a cool way to, if you're not trying to get that super bitter hop in, doing that is a cool way to get, what am I trying to say here? So like on a double IPA, you know, sometimes those things get up there and because you have to balance out, you're trying to get all those hops, you have to balance that bill up. And sometimes those things end up becoming super malty beers, almost barley wine-ish, because you get that in so much up and then it's just like you almost lose.
It's hard to play around with. Like when you're talking doubles and triples, we did a triple IPA, and I added some Belgian candy sugar to it because you're talking about malt to hop ratio.
Absolutely.
And that brought up the ABV, but it cut down that malt and let the hop shine through. It's a weird game to play, man.
Okay, and that's a game that I'm confused by.
This is on my mind.
So I got a question for you. This is a straight up brewer question. If you're gonna go into a double IPA or a triple IPA, is it strictly just you're just playing with the numbers? You're just trying to get a bigger alcohol. Because if you're trying to get hop flavors, but you've got to balance up your sweetness, you could have just done the single IPA and had the hop. You see what I mean? So is it just because you're trying to climb the ladder and be like, flex?
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, right? Either way, it's badass.
I think when we do it, it's to see how much capacity we have on our system itself.
Sure.
So right now, our highest, because our brewing system's so different and unique from other ones around here, ours is 10 to 11%.
Okay.
We can do a polyguile is what it's called, and we can actually make that beer higher. Right. But to get back to your question, a little bit.
Yeah. Not saying there's anything wrong with it either.
A little
absolutely.
bit.
Yeah.
But it's also to, like y'all brought up a minute ago, getting on stage and people are nervous and challenging yourself. That's part of it. That's a big part about it. And talked to you a little while ago about Zenith. The first time we did it, it wasn't where we wanted it to be. And then the next time we do it just gets better. So it's always trying to get there and achieve what you really want to achieve.
Yeah, that system push is funny too, because I learned a lot about that from the homebrew level, going to when I did the collab with Drew over at Braindead, did the Pro collab. It was like, that was kind of mind blowing on that. It was cool in the sense that it's just a big ass homebrew garage is all it is.
Yeah.
But when you look at especially some of the beers they do over there, because they're known for these big giant beers, and man, it's like, he started explaining to me like how much you have to figure, we're going to take this sugar and we have to supplement for it, because if we're going to get to this, that big ass thing right there won't hold enough grain to get to that point. And then it's not just a matter of cut this and throw the sugar. You got to do that right to maintain that. And it was just like, at that point, you really start going, holy shit. Like
a lot of work.
Take it from my 6 gallons to what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now isn't huge, or what we're doing now isn't huge, but where Jason, one of my business partners and one of the other brewers, this huge, I think it was a 30-barrel system, down to a 6-barrel system where we're at now. That's nothing for him to be like, figuring out was a little bit of a challenge, but for me going from 6 gallons to where I am was, that was rough. It was like, oh my gosh, what am I getting into?
Dude, I asked Kirk over Steam Theory about a Chug Pills recipe, just for some tips, and he goes, tell you what, I'll just send you my recipe, run it. I was like, cool. And he sends it off his 400-gallon system, whatever.
Like, figure it out.
10, and I'm like looking at him like, God damn it, man. It's funny because he sent it to me like pretty much like the day before I was gonna brew. So I was like, all right, I got to push this. He hit me a couple days later. You could do it. I go, I can do it next weekend. I got to find time between work to sit down with this stupid thing and do the math. I couldn't just roll into the homebrew shop. Are you so when you do your stand up, do you drink before you go on or no? Yeah.
I like to write bullet points and then drink a couple beers and then just kind of riff and then record your set.
Yeah.
So if you say something funny on accident,
you got it.
I got it recorded, and then you go back, listen to it, and kind of write.
Yeah.
You just.
So how's your?
Feel it out.
How long you been in stand up?
Since 2017.
Okay.
November is when I started.
Oh, okay.
So I'm 2 years in.
So craps was full burning. I was curious if pre-craft if it was like a couple of light beers before you go up, and then all of a sudden good shit comes, and now you go up and you realize, oh shit, I'm about 4 in on my same 2 beers.
I was in the Army, so I was used to drinking Bud Lights to party or whatever. So anyway, Martin House, not to cross promote, but their double IPA.
Yeah.
Drink what, if I'm rushed, I'll drink one of those. It's double, so you got twice as much alcohol in one can.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite. Dude.
Oh,
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was curious is how much the new beers are having an effect on.
No, that's definitely a thing. Because instead of drinking like 5 Bud Lights, I'll just drink one of those. It takes about the same amount of time because it's super bitter.
Yeah. So you manage hyenas here. So nerds. Which is what I really like to do.
speaking of drinking,
You want another one?
yeah, let's go to the next
All right. All right. So last thing we got is this upside down pineapple sour. So what's the sour note on this? Is this
Took it down to 3.4 pH, lactic.
okay?
It's all just kettle sour.
Oh, nice.
We're not using any bugs. We're not
Okay.
having any of that in the brewery. Yeah.
We're not getting crazy pickle flavors or anything in this.
It's all just going to be kettle sour beer.
Just a little bit of acid and okay.
Yeah,
Very nice.
but clean. Added a bunch of pineapple upside down cakes, sponge cakes, and everything to
All
the
right,
mash.
here's the fun part. Here's the part where you guys step in. Okay, so I was wondering when I saw upside down, cake literally went in this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Full
A
on.
lot. Yeah. We mashed in with a lot of it.
It's
yeah.
fun. It's one of the more fun things about what you guys do. Like you put out a new flavor, and you read the flavor, and if you don't realize it, you think that you're just coming in here with different, because I mean we've all seen and done the beers where I don't know. I'm trying to think of the name. Let's say it'll be some sort of a chocolate coffee stout, and there's no chocolate or coffee in it. You just use the different roasts and you pull it in.
Yeah.
And you get these flavors. You guys are like, if you read it on the label, that shit went in there.
Exactly.
Like it's,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
fucking
straight up.
Twinkies and there's nut butters and whatever it is goes in.
And that was a terrible beer to clean up out of the mash.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That sucked. It really sucked. But it turned out to be a good beer, man. It's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, all about fun. That's what we're looking for. What we got over there, man? Brian's thirsty and plowing through the
upside down.
label.
6.1. That's
Pineapple.
Stranger Things reference?
It is. It
Nice.
is. Yeah.
Nice pickup.
I showed my son. I photoshopped a Demogorgon holding one of our beers, and I put the upside down kind of Stranger Things logo up top. And I showed my son. I was like, "Dude, yeah, even the Demogorgon loves our beer." Daddy, that's not real. I'm like, "Yes, it is. I swear it's real." Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
Good show.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That's cool.
It's like, please tell me it's not real.
Well, these are fun, man, because Eric is known both before he went pro and especially after now that they've got full throttle going. So they throw everything in here. So if you read upside down cake on the label, there's upside down cake in it.
There's a bunch
It's
of
not
it,
just
too,
going to
man.
have flavors of.
that is so cool.
They're known for full on throwing it in there. So
And that
that's
color's
pretty crazy.
beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
You want to do that? You got it from there?
So I go to these craft brew places all the time, and there's all these like Seosin and milk stout and
Say
double IPA.
Seosin, like the
or-
band?
I don't know. Like, all these crazy
Saison?
names for these beers. Do y'all? So is that something you aim for? It's like I'm trying to make this, or is it you just make the beer you want to make and you're like, and this category describes it?
No,
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
We go by kind of categories. We'll say, hey, I want to make like broad categories, a sour, or I want to make an IPA. Then we kind of nail down what we want to do. Like I was telling Jeremy earlier, we kind of do that morning. We'll decide what to brew. Like Monday, I've got to brew. I know I'm brewing a West Coast triple, but I don't know what the second beer is at all. I have no clue.
That's
I got to
crazy
figure it out.
that y'all can
But
do that.
and then names. A lot of the names will come up. Like we release a beer on Wednesday. That Wednesday morning, I tell the team, we need a name by noon, and we're all just throwing stuff out. Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Name is a fun part.
Oh.
The category, as far as what you're talking about, like Saison and Porter and stuff like that, yeah, there's actually
Guidelines.
There's guidelines, yeah, and there's beer judging guidelines you get up, and it's pretty intense. I mean, it breaks down like basically what your aroma should be, what your mouthfeel should be within these guidelines of IBUs and of alcohol and of your original after gravities. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
With that being said, though, like this beer here, what are we drinking now?
It's a sour. It's
Okay.
a lactobacillus 3.4 on pH scale.
And the color and the consistency.
That's
of
cake.
That's exactly. I mean,
Upside down cake.
I think that's from the cake being thrown
I think
in.
what could make it better would be if I added lactose to it. You'd get that sour, sweet kind of
that
vibe
sweetness
to
would
it.
come up of it. I was
and
thinking
it wouldn't clash. It would actually fulfill that upside down.
I like it as
type
a
deal.
sour, man. I think it's cool. I think
That's good,
pineapple
man.
plays up the sour a little more too.
I mean, I'm thinking Thanksgiving. You got
Oh, yeah.
full belly. You know, you go
100%.
back to get dessert. You're at Meemaw and Papa's house.
100%.
You looking over there at Meemaw's upside down cake. You're like, dang.
Down.
That's just like it.
Yeah, that's delicious. Hey, this is a question for you. So, I think we talked to Shiva about this a little bit, but I was still kind of a little curious. So, you know, obviously, 2 drink minimum thing. I know whenever you go see shows, there's not a lot of action like taking orders and keeping going. Is there any enforcement from the managerial side to keep things a little tempered in the audience from getting to?
I forgot we talked about the.
Yeah, and he was saying, well,
like
there's not as much service people there, and I'm like, I kind of feel there's still a tempering.
It's a art in terms of like you want to sell drinks.
Yeah.
That's how they pay me.
Sure,
is
sure.
Through food and drink sales. So you want to sell drinks, but also, you know, people have been pre-gaming. Like, it's a 90-minute show. Like you got to work really hard.
Talking about pre-game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes people come in there a little already sloshed,
sure.
and then, you know, tequila shots, and like they do the work, they get there, and you know, we got to kick them out. You know,
How's that? Is that common?
in Plano, not so much. In Dallas, they like to party.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of do like party.
St. Patrick's Day
Oh man.
weekends. I'm not saying every
sounds fun
night,
already.
I'm saying every
Yeah.
show we kick the table out.
That's awesome.
Every
Because
show.
they're just yelling.
Yeah,
the
they're-
guys up
they've
there
been
trying to
drinking
do his
all
thing.
day.
They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, and they're heckling and can't have a normal conversation at their table, and we're like, "Hey guys, y'all gotta go."
Man, you brought up hecklers, so every long-term like comedy fans like we are, like everybody's heard the stories of hecklers. So now, because we listen to a lot of podcasts of comedians and stuff, and everybody talks about now there's like this new appreciation of comedy that's going right now, and I'm sure podcasting is like and Netflix, everything else, and so people are like wanting, like they're entrenched, they're understanding the process, they realize even when you see early in a new set it may not be so great, we've been to some like that, so has that lowered the heckler ratio, or is that still a big player in the comedy?
Most comedy fans know to be respectful. And
Okay.
it's live, but so he can't talk back to you. Like it's like kind of 3 tiers. Like the guy who's never doesn't know anything about it goes in there, starts talking back, and then there's like the guys that are like, I don't want to sit up front. They're gonna they're gonna heckle me, or they're gonna talk to me. I don't want to get picked on. And there's the people who know, like, okay, if you sit up front, they're gonna make it fun.
Yeah.
And enjoy it for what it is.
I got a question. What about like you get any family members or friends there? Like, cause I know if my buddy was up on stage, I'd be razzing him the whole time. Not hard,
Yeah.
but just enough to be like, I'm here.
That's the
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Well, that's so. Sometimes we get customers that are like, "Oh, I know the comedian. I know him," and I'm like, "Okay, if you knew him, he would have told you."
Don't say anything.
Yeah, that'd be
Heckle me.
And that's why I'd be like, hey.
You were like my brother's seen me go up. Like I've only been doing it 2 years. My brother's seen me all my stuff.
Yeah.
So he's sick of it.
Yeah.
Like he's not in there trying to like.
I've
he's
seen you
bored.
naked.
Yeah, he's bored, dude. He's bored. Yeah. So like you can tell, you can suss out the bullshitters on that.
I love being up front, man.
Yeah.
Ralphie May ripped me a new one.
Right, you seen
Oh,
Ralphie?
dude, I saw Ralphie this was way back.
Man,
This
he was
was
good.
in,
Y'all should.
I think it was the
Come up with
Improv. I think it was the
I'll have to check it
Improv.
out for sure. Yes.
Yeah, it was some multi thing, sitting down front, and there was, God dang, I wish I could remember the years, early 2000s. And he had this whole like flip flop thing, flippity floppies. He started going on flip flops, and I, for years, man, I didn't wear anything but flip flops. It's 20 degrees. I'm in flip flops, and I'm in front row, and he's just like, this motherfucker here, and I'm here, and I'm long hair and flip flops and painted toenails, and he's just like, and I'm just like, but I loved it, man. That's what I was there for. So
he's like, of course. Thank you.
No, it
painted
was
your toenails.
Oh yeah,
for me,
dude.
or-
No, it was a whole thing, man. Yeah, he
There's
was.
a lot of comics that don't ever reach out into the audience and
It's
per se pick on people.
stick to the set.
And there's some
Yeah,
people
they just stick
that's
to it,
all
man.
they do.
Has everything gone on tap so far?
No, we've thrown out beers.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Really?
There's been a few that we've dumped, and it sucks. You do a little salute, you do, whatever, and then down the drain.
Problematic stuff or just recipe? To
There's been heating element issues, just getting all of our stuff to work properly, like from out the gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had to dump beers.
See, that's the most insane part of what you did. So I went out there right after you opened that second week or something, the kid opened up there, and I remember looking over and seeing on your tap list what you had. Like, just all of the adjuncts, all the craziness that was going on with it. And then thinking about just that very basic, pragmatic part of when you get all this new equipment. I mean, Denny Kahn said the other day, or Drew Beecham rather, that you shouldn't judge a brewery in the first 6 months because it takes that long to figure out how their equipment even works. So the fact that you guys are going nuts on brand new shit is...
Well, that's still a very valid statement.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
when we started out to where our beers are now, like, those beers were good coming in, but now you can just tell they're just getting better and better and more solid and more crisp. Is figuring out that, and just scaling wise too, is I went from homebrew. So
for sure.
6 gallons at a time, that's what I was brewing, all the way to, close to 7 barrels at a time.
Yeah.
It's a big step for me.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I dove head first.
That's
Like, I
awesome.
did not look back, just straight up went for it. But yeah, it's difficult,
That's awesome.
but you do it.
Normally
That's funny.
around this time on our second beer, we normally play a game.
You want to play a game?
Let's throw the
Let's
game.
play a game. Y'all like
Check it
games?
out.
Well, so we're kind of going back to a game that we started with for a few times, a fun game. And we have beer games, of course. The theory here is you're playing for the entertainment side.
Okay.
You're playing for the beer guys. And this is a rolling concept of scores. Theoretically, a beer trivia game would lean toward the beer guy. This one doesn't really work that way. Too much. Although we're trying to balance a little bit more, and since you're here, we have comedians with beers. And I'm gonna put that one last. I'm gonna put that one last because you know what? Yeah, come try. All right. So anyway, here is our choices of beers. We got 5 beers. We got 3 pitchers. You guys are gonna choose who you think is drinking what. That's what we're going with. Yeah. So, and then I have a fun question for you to follow up off this game, but we'll go straight to the game
We get
first.
to see all 3 at once?
Nope, I'm going to show them individually.
One time?
Yep.
Let's start with the great, very associated with drinking, Doug Stanhope, who's my favorite.
Some housekeeping here. Move this stuff out of the way.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
Here you go. Is there any more in that?
Sure is. So we'll start with the man known for drinking maybe more than many other comedians, Doug Stanhope. Actually, he had one special was actually called, what was it, Beer Hall Push, I think was the name of one of his thing. Yeah, he's awesome. He's well known for putting them down in quite dapper thrift store suits.
Yeah, that
And I've
is-
thought, like,
that is a pimp
that's a
suit.
fun bit.
dude.
That's a great bit, right? Yeah, he got into this like 10 years ago, I think. And this is
Scream
like, that's all he does is wear crazy ass suits, and they're totally dope.
Nice, yeah.
All right, so of the 5,
Is that a mustard shirt?
what do you guys think? The mustard?
Mustard?
Check you out, dude. That's, sure, I'll go with
I eat
mustard.
hot dogs
French.
too, man.
I think your snazzy fancy sense, the snazzy fashion sense of Brian Yeager. So, all right, what we got? Doug Stanhope. Take him for a straight up guy, craft guy.
Coors Light, Fat Tire, Miller High Life.
I think it's Fat Tire.
Fat
I
Tire.
was leaning towards that too, but I'll go High Life.
High Life and Fat Tire. Well,
Or High
guys,
Life.
no one got a point on this one. We got a Coors Light kicking.
Should
Yeah.
have not.
I know, man.
That's down bad.
You know, I was a little disappointed in old Doug there because I've heard him talk quite a bit. I will say, though, he is a beer fan, and I've heard him talk in podcasts about liking good beers. we'll move on to this show's big white whale. This is our whale guest.
Man, I love that guy.
As a manager of a comedy club and as a comedian, if you ever have a chance to come across this man and introduce our show, I would greatly appreciate that. We could work something out. Bert Kreischer, our whale guest, the man whose career was completely started out by being named the top partier in all of college, in all of the country by Rolling Stone. Is certainly, and my favorite part here is he's on a treadmill.
The machine's on a machine.
In, I'm assuming a gym, hotel gym from the looks of it. And he's holding the beer up for the camera. Yes, what is the machine drinking? We have Sierra Nevada, Lighthouse Ale, High Life, Fat Tire, or Coors Light. The machine.
He's a beer guy, though. He is a beer guy.
He's a booze guy, but he is a beer guy. The machine.
The Sierra Nevada bottles, do they have the short necks on them?
They do, actually. I love how the beer guys figure this out.
I'm gonna go with Sierra Nevada.
The beer guys, like, they work this out.
I know it's not one for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, isn't it?
I knew that about the last one, yeah. Yeah, I'm sticking with Sierra Nevada.
What you got, Micah?
I don't know, from the hand placement.
Serious contemplation. Oh, this is a new angle.
I was actually trying to look in the treadmill for a reflection. I really was, yeah.
Nice, I like it.
I'll go Coors Light, dude.
Coors Light. All right. Well, guys, Fat Tire. My man Bert with the Fat Tire on a treadmill. We are 0 for 0. You guys are not helping out your groups
physique.
at all.
Fat Tire.
By his what?
His physique.
Oh, nice. All right. This is every beer guy's dream girl, or should be, Aisha Tyler.
Will Smith?
Funny as hell.
Sorry.
Will Smith wishes he was that pretty. Pretty, funny, full-on beer girl, adamant home brewer. She actually brewed a peach lambic for her wedding and a honey ale for people to take home.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, she's full on. She does not fuck around. So what is Aisha Tyler drinking here?
Okay, so I actually put the tape on that picture and I did not pay attention to it.
Man, to be...
I have no clue.
Oh, I was going to say a little more, but I'll wait because it'll totally give it away if I say that. So. What we got?
Sierra.
I'm going to go Lighthouse Ale.
Lighthouse.
You said beer geek?
Big time. Like, intensely so. Matter of fact, she collaborated with Stone on one of their, they brought her in.
You're going full beer geek, and it's not going to be Coors Light, it's not going to be High Life. These three,
but what if she went gangster and went High Life?
I'll say they don't repeat.
Hey, it can happen.
I'll say this, out of these, Fat Tire, Sierra, Lighthouse, I know Sierra, I know Fat Tire. I don't even know where Lighthouse is. What brewery is that?
It is, it's an East Coast of Fireside, or Fire Island, I think is actually.
We can pick the same? Can we pick the same?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go
All right, they're going for it. You guys are right.
It's
It's Fire Island Beer Company. It's Lighthouse Ale.
All right.
And I got to be honest with you, I could not, because it's kind of blurred and pixelated, and I could not figure it out, man. And I looked around forever, and I went on to Homebrew Network, and I went on to Beer Girls Group and put it up, and to the beer nerd channels that we all subscribe to. This thing was knocked out about 4 minutes after I posted it. They had like, oh man, it's light out, bam. It's like, holy shit, yeah. There was a lot of contemplation of what it was after that, but yeah, a couple people knocked it out pretty quick. So that's tie, 1-1. I don't remember what our rolling score is at this point, but
yeah, the rolling score has been lost.
The production guys take care of that because we get too drunk to keep up with it. Man, this thing right here is this is a fun beer, dude. Like Let's had to come back around on this for a second.
By far the best sour.
You think?
Yeah, let's take a drink of that, and I'm like, man. So we just got through with visiting over at Sour Week at Strange Ways, and yeah, dude, let's roll this right in the top of those 40 taps.
I'm not a giant sour fan, and I don't chase sours, but somebody that don't drink sours all the time, that's very true.
I'm not into it, but do you do you think you're able to make a better beer because it's fresher and you don't have to worry about making that shelf life? Because I feel like there's compromises there, right?
Yeah, there is. There actually is. Yeah, man. Kind of dependent upon style. Some of it is. Like we like our stouts to sit a little bit longer. But man, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Getting out fresh and fast is definitely super hard. It's very critical to be able to throw them out. No, man. I think what makes it better is the fact that we strive to, each time we do a recipe, like it's a one-off. We throw a recipe together, and then we learn from it, and next time it's always going to be better. I think that's the best thing about our brewery.
So 3 months, have y'all repeated much yet?
We repeated Zenith, our Kölsch.
You understand about the...
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the keeper.
Just repeat the walk-in beer.
We have a beer in the tanks right now that we're gonna can up. So
Okay.
I just don't want to say
fair.
what that beer is.
Yeah, right
now.
on.
But yeah, everyone freaking loved it. So super happy.
So are you
about
going
this
to
beer.
can, just question here, I mean, a little, what do you call that, exclusive? Is there are you canning for out the door, or are you guys going to try to distribute a little bit?
Just the door right now.
Okay, right on.
We talked about distribution a little bit, like with kegs and stuff, with some slims. But cans are just going to be in-house, man. You got to come
That's
in
cool.
and grab
No,
them.
that's awesome.
And our artwork's going to be freaking sick. It's
Artwork's
definitely
already sick, man.
Well, it's
I mean,
the stuff we got coming out with cans looks unlike anything in the DFW market. So
that's cool.
super excited about
That's
it.
cool. You're a White Tech guy, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. So was that your gig? Were you the mechanic up to this point, or what was your...
Painted cars for close to 15 years.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you got to
You
paint
doing
gun.
the side work? Like, can we work something out? You got a booth somewhere? Because I'm heavily in the market.
No, not being.
We'll talk afterwards, but if so,
Say that.
He's just gonna paint a beer look.
And to answer your question,
I mean,
no, we're not talking afterwards about that at all. I'm not doing anything anymore. No, man. Close to 90 hours a week. I'm good with what I'm doing. I'm
So I got
good.
this den out there.
I know.
I got this key mark and needs to touch up.
My wife's on me to like get her forward. I'm like, hey, cool. That's how is what's the? It's kind of an interesting question. Somebody coming off. So I mean, obviously, like, you know, you're in a workhorse thing already before you got into this.
Yeah.
And now came to this. So what was the expectation from taking, you know, hobby to career, and the workhorsedness of it compared to what you thought it was going to be?
Right now, working 80-something hours a week. It's a lot easier than doing it at a job for someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But
Yeah.
also, I have to compliment the team that we have as
sure.
well, which makes it super,
For sure.
way more enjoyable than what it really should be.
Right.
I love all, Sally, Kat, Jason, all four of us. We're the only ones who run the place. We're the only ones brewing the beers, the
Nice.
only ones serving the beers.
It makes a
Right.
huge difference.
It does. But coming, like the hardest part was working day job,
Yeah.
building the brewery
Oh, sure.
for 6 months.
Absolutely.
And then finally, you know, I essentially got pushed out of my job
Yeah.
because my mind was somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Jason, Kat, and Sally are working their day jobs right now, and they're coming to work every night and kicking
Cool.
ass. So
Cool.
couldn't do it without those guys.
By the way, the recently engaged Sally.
Yeah, that would be my high.
Congrats on that, man.
Thanks,
That's
man.
awesome.
I appreciate it.
Recently, that's cool,
Thank
man.
you.
All of that in home and work. That's
3
man,
kids.
That's awesome. Yeah, dude.
It's rough,
That's
man.
cool.
It's
You're
rough.
working your ass off, though. Man.
Yeah,
It's
all four of us
part
are.
of it. It's
Yeah.
part of it.
That's
Sure.
awesome,
We're
though,
getting it
man.
done,
That's
man.
awesome. Are you roading any?
What's up?
You roading any? Or you stay all local with your comedy? Or are you getting out and moving around, or wanting to at all? Or
No, since
2
I
years
started
in, it's a slow
managing,
thing, but you know, it's early. But
I'm locked down on the weekends, but I do like bar shows during the week every once in
probably
a
helps.
while.
Do you get?
Yeah.
Does that help good for potential
It's good
stage time?
career-wise because you can you make those connections with
Yeah,
those
yeah, for
guys
sure.
at the top level.
100%.
And then still working on your craft. Because, best case scenario, some headliners like, bro, you're awesome. I want to take you on the road. It's like, well, my skills aren't there yet.
Yeah.
Dude. I got 15 minutes. Man.
Yeah, that's cool to be honest about
but-
that, though. That's all
but
awesome.
Once you get your skill level up,
Yeah,
then you got these connections.
absolutely.
So it's not a bad job for someone starting out like me.
Nah, man, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like,
I
every
love
career,
it,
it's
dude.
funny. Every career has the same story. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You work this, you get the connections, you move to the same thing.
This is the best job I've ever had. Dude.
That's awesome. You were an Army guy, right?
Yeah, I was in the
Yeah.
Army and
there was-
fixing helicopters and shit, and like painting cars. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore, man.
Yeah.
I'll take a pay cut to do something I enjoy. You know?
We, on the other hand, still do that, and we get to fuck off with you guys doing this.
Nice.
That's the reality of that. We're still out there sweating with hammers every day. It's fun. We're good times. Well, man, I think we're at that point, dude. It's time to judge a beer. Not judge, but score. Judging will be a lot less harsh than the things you've done competitively before. Let's grab the last one. That's the one. So, man, thank y'all for coming to this. Thanks for doing this. Thanks, everybody, for watching this. But this is the point in the time where we get our namesake of this show.
All right, what are we drinking?
This is the Chug.
This is the baby.
You'll go ahead and pour that.
The Zenith Kölsch.
Zenith. This is the drinkable.
Yeah,
Zenith.
super approachable.
Get a picture of this cart before and then we'll finish pouring everybody and lead right into the finish. This is weird stopping like this. You gotta bring more beer next time, dude.
I'm a shitty individual. I'm sorry. Okay, like no, that's the thing around the brewery. Is Eric's an asshole?
He's the shitty guy.
Yeah.
This is all the beer we have left in the brewery.
Perez, you're invited next time. All right, man, and then the Kölsch, so, you know, Kölsches are fucking delicious, man. So what makes this kind of what's your favorite part? I'm assuming the Zenith hop is where this thing's gonna get a little variety on it.
No.
No?
I wanted to bring this because it's kind of that base, straightforward, just beer people's beer.
Nice.
Like
Very
you
cool.
can appreciate that. Like we love messing around with adjuncts, but straightforward, good, crisp, clean beer,
Right.
that's where it's at as well. You got to find out that balance, what your customers want, what you like.
Right.
So we're always going to have this. Like we
That's
have a Belgian wit that's on too that crushes it as
Yeah,
well.
sure.
It's just base
Absolutely.
Belgian wit. People love it.
Absolutely.
But, no, I love that beer. That's the second time we've done it. The first time seemed a little sulfury,
Okay.
so I changed up the recipe a little bit, did a different yeast, completely different beer, so much better. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool. Not to deter here from Brutal, but we had our second episode, Steam Theory was on, those guys over there, and with Kölsch that did a film, and they collaborated after the show.
Nice.
And they came up with a red Kölsch. Yeah, you had tried. It's pretty cool. Kurt was like, because they have red beards and they had this red tone on the movie, and he was like, let's try something different. And it's a really cool beer. Just to past episode, call them out a little bit. But anyway, Kölsch, man. All right, I'm excited about that. So is this going to be our chug?
Yeah.
That's what we're going
we can
for?
chug that all
or-
day long, man.
Yeah? All right, man. We'll see. I got a feeling that's going to go down easy. All right, man. So let's pour them in, and then
Chug half a beer.
this is going to be the chug.
So I have
Yeah,
a
we
question.
better do this
I
because
got
we're
a
going to
question.
get. Oh yeah, for sure. That's it.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So next time you brew a batch, can you do anything close to Zima? Because I'm a huge Zima fan. You ever had Zima?
All right.
Dude, I thought he was about to open up the shirt. I was like, holy shit, no way!
Go ahead and roll out.
Oh yeah, brother!
Oh my gosh. Man.
That is awesome.
Answer your question, no.
Actually,
You ever
Yeah,
had Zima?
yeah, I had Zima whenever I was 13.
Sweet.
what was your favorite flavoring?
Just the regular. That's all I could ever
No, to
get
put
my
in
hands
it.
on. Nothing.
You put anything in it?
Dude,
that's
we were
good.
kids. Like, I'm no joke. We were kids. Steal
Yeah,
one.
dude.
Oh, okay.
Jolly
yeah,
Rancher,
yeah.
see?
Jolly Rancher, there you go.
Right to the Jolly
We didn't do
Rancher.
that. No, we just took it to the dome.
We tried doing what did we put in? We tried flavoring one of the seltzer things.
Oh, yeah?
Just
Yeah.
to kind of maybe reach out and grab the Zima flavor.
But it doesn't
didn't work out too
It doesn't work. It doesn't work because Zima had like a body and a flavor to it a little bit, and it kind of took it. But the sparkling water it was still just sparkling water. And you know, I like Topo Chico and all. Yeah, let's polish the can off and get this up as much as we can and take a sip, and we'll see what this thing tastes like before we chug it down. And every empty glass is worth a point. Well, Eric, I don't want to crush your dreams, but that tastes like a Kölsch.
Awesome. Thank
What brings up that name? Or why is it named that?
Zenith?
No, the Kölsch.
Kölsch,
What is that? I mean,
German. It's a German style of beer. It's
what makes it that?
a hybrid in between a lager and an ale.
Okay.
That's the typical thing that is drank in that region of Germany.
Gotcha.
It's Kölsch.
I was in Germany before, and I've had.
I think it's actually named after
It's a
Kölsch.
little less bit, like it has like a bitter taste there. And this one's way more drinkable.
Yeah, man, that's smooth. This is gonna go down super easy.
Yeah. Pilsner malt adds a little bit of sweetness to it.
Well, man, Brutal Beerworks, North Richland Hills. What's your handle?
Just at Brutal Beerworks on everything.
At Brutal Beerworks. How do they find you, man?
Hyena's Comedy Nightclub in Plano, Texas.
There you go. There you go. Is there any way to find you in particular?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Micah_bro_WN.
Bro,
Micah
I like that.
Brown.
I'll remember that.
Oh, Brown. Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's
Okay.
Micah Brown.
All right.
And your home address, I'm asking for a friend.
For a friend.
For a friend. No,
Hey,
seriously.
man, I just realized what a kick-ass shirt you have on.
That is
Oh,
cool.
wow. It's our new Chug shirt.
Comment if you want
Always
one.
be promoting.
For
Yeah,
real.
You can pick one of those up.
And sweet new glass coming out, too.
Buy one of those, Brian? You buy one of those?
Yeah, those are nice.
We haven't decided how much yet. Somewhere between...
$50.
Cha-ching! I like it. All right, Micah
I
said
got this
it.
one free.
Dig it.
Coming soon with the cool beer glasses and
Yep.
decals.
Somewhere between 10 and 104 bucks. We'll figure it out.
We'll
Cool.
even throw in a $5.99 decal.
There you go. Wait a minute, we got to talk about this more. We got to work this out. All right, guys, thank y'all for coming, man. We really do appreciate it. This is
Cheers, guys.
Chug. Slam it down. Let's see what points we get. Cheers. That was the easiest full point there is.
Man.
That was awesome, dude.
Cool.
You could drink like,
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
wish there was more.
I could drink at least as many of those as I could drink White Claws.
Oh, it's better.
Thank you, Eric. Beerworks for not bringing enough beer. I'll leave very thirsty.
Awesome, man.
It's
Go buy some.
no joke. That's like, y'all remind me of me being at work right now, just getting razzed the whole time.
He's the shitty guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, fellas. That was fun, dude.
Baby Yoda got me feeling fine.